Projects don't fail because of engineering, they fail because of assumptions, and sometimes because of judgment. When you drive on a highway, switch on a light, land at an airport, you are standing on years of invisible decisions. Not just capital, not just contracts, but responsibility. Today, we step inside that responsibility. Welcome to Stories of Scale. Today, it is about how large systems are built, not just physically constructed, but imagined, structured, and sustained. Today's episode is Building What Nations Run On. Joining me is Parthasarathy Chakrapani sir today. For over 3 decades, he has been inside infrastructure projects across sectors roads, power plants, airports, and townships. He has structured capital and carried responsibility across full project cycles. But tonight is not about achievements, it is about judgment. Sir, welcome to our show today. I'm Shruthi.
Thank you, Shruti, for such a wonderful introduction. It's indeed an extraordinary situation that, projects are built not as what you said, based on some dreams or something. We require so many things in life. For example, take power, or you want to move in a proper road,
Right.
or you want to get across to an airport, or you want a railway system. All these are required by common man, and the projects are built by people, by the government, by the private sector. There is a lot of thinking which goes into these projects. We all want to have a better way of life, a better lifestyle. That is why projects are extremely important and are built for the benefit of every user, the common man, the general public. For example, if you take a power project, when you switch on the light in the house, the room gets illuminated, but many people do not know how it comes. It all comes basically because of a lot of thought processes into it. First of all, there is a system of determining how much power is needed for a region, and then how this power is generated. Is there proper source, and is there a deficit? If there is a deficit, then people really want to get into that deficit, understand, and really create a size, a requirement of size. When you have a size, for example, say 100 megawatts for a region, then you cost it. There are different technologies, and you go for the latest. And we talked about sustainable
Living today,
living.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So when you do that, sustainable power generation, which will be non-conventional, which will be solar power or
Solar,
green power.
hydro, green,
Yeah, you are
yes.
right, Shruti.
Wind also,
Wind
yes,
also. Green
yes.
power. Today, green power is extremely important, and it can also help in distributed generation. It is not that power generated in one particular place and then transmitted over a large distance. You can create smaller power projects in
So it's
different places.
self-sustainable and in smaller pockets.
Exactly. Self-sustainable and able to be consumed properly, not much losses,
In
and
transportation and
scalable
logistics, yes.
above all because of its modularity, scalable to a very large extent. So that is how then the project is sized, then it is costed, then it is designed, then there is a contract, it is built. When it is built, there is a time frame, there is a process for it.
So, as a common citizen, we have taken it for granted, I feel. Switching on the light is automated in our lives. Moving on roads and connected on highways, moving from city to city. I think we've taken it for granted that, yes, I need to reach Mumbai from Bangalore. This is the road I will take. But there's seldom few people who think that, okay, the highway is good, but who has built it? What has gone behind it? And who are the people who are taking these decisions?
Shruti, yes, you are absolutely right. You see, not many people know how whatever they use, for example, either roads or power, how it has come. there is a government process to improve the standard of living for its citizens. Imagine my grandparents, the generation before that, they did not have electric light. Even
Right.
still, very recently, our country is not, 100% having its electricity in its villages. So we have so many motorable roads, but still a few villages are not connected by roads. Connectivity is very important. Earlier, we were connecting cities only to cities. After some time, we understood that connectivity brings greater scales of economy.
Correct.
People travel from all corners of the country to another corner of the country. Lot of villages are covered, and then there are many service facilities, etc., come in between these roads. Then the economy itself improves.
Like we're
People
speaking of,
move the
yeah,
goods faster.
yes,
The transportation moves greater. As the economy grows, there are other services. The requirement is also increasing. So there is a chain effect of positivity. Earlier, we used to have only a few ports. So the inefficiency and the cost of transporting or exporting goods was higher. Now you have shorter distances to airports from the production centers, and therefore it becomes much cheaper.
especially for the
And
supply chain
yes,
industry.
and the
Yes,
cost effectiveness improves. And when all this is combined, imagine the country having 4 or 5 big ports earlier, and now 40 or 50 big ports. It makes a lot of difference.
right.
And this is how the beauty of really expanding infrastructure creates greater economy, which in turn pushes the requirement for more infrastructure, and then it again pushes to grow the economy. So in these things, it is very important that we also find the capital,
Right,
the right capital, the right use of capital in a
right.
way. For example, earlier lack of capital was restricting the project size, and we have also grown to a particular level of economy, and our growth compels us to grow more and also provide for greater infrastructure facilities.
Sir, I want to begin at the human level. When you look at a project today, what do you see first? Not technically, instinctively.
Yeah, Shruti is a very good question. See, if you really look at project, what does a project consist of? Men, materials, machine, market, money.
Correct.
These
Well
are the
said.
things which make the project. Men are absolutely important. People with the right skills are important.
Right.
And second is material, the availability of material. The third thing is machine, ability to manufacture the machinery required, or ability to understand and adopt machines manufactured elsewhere in the world. Then the market is very important. You are building a project with an objective. You are making it useful for a lot of people. And do the people really want this project? Do they get benefit from this project?
So, can I
What?
take an example here? Like if we are using roadways today, and if we say we need a new highway connecting from this city to this city. So, what is your instinct in terms of how many people are going to use this highway? So, do you think this project is going to work? Because there are, like you mentioned, a billion questions. Thousands of people and all technically skilled people who are coming on board and a lot of money involved.
Let's say Bangalore and Mysore. You now
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
Earlier we had a 4-lane road.
Correct.
It was a state-made road.
Yes.
Now it is a, national government made a 6-lane road.
Right.
Okay. So it is required because earlier it was taking 3 to 4 hours for traveling a distance of 140 kilometers from Bangalore to Mysore.
Correct.
Today, I touch the Kengeri point and I reach Mysore in 1 hour 30 minutes.
It is
And
so convenient
it's so
today.
convenient, and
Yes.
people pay for it. This is what it is. I give the service, and people need that service, and they
And they're
pay for
willing
it.
to pay
They are
for it
willing to pay for
for the
it.
convenience of lifestyle,
Style
to get
and
to work. Yes.
shortage of time.
Yeah.
Today everybody is pressed for time.
I think
And
many people have made homes in Mysore today because thanks to the highway that they can come and
you
work
can
in Bangalore and return back by evening.
exactly from Mysore as well as from Bangalore, there can be day visits, and you can do the job and return back in the
Absolutely.
evening.
Yes.
So it is very productive. So this is what it is. The money, the market is there, people are willing to pay for it.
So there's a deep research on
Deep
this.
research, and how much money will be available, and what is the kind of project cost that will be used, that can be calculated, so that the project is bankable, how the project is going to be funded. Then comes, how do you do the project actually?
The
You
structure
then
to
you
execute.
then
Yeah.
design, you then build, you have a EPC contract, you can have a turnkey project contract, you give it to a company which has built similar projects in the past and which
It could
have
be a private
capabilities.
company as
It
well.
could be a private company, it could be a government company. So you give a turnkey contract, and once when you give the contract, the contract is done, and all the punch list items are also done. The road is ready for commissioning and for travel. You have also set up tolling booths. You
Yes.
collect the toll. The revenue is generated from that project.
Right.
So on and so forth. That is how a single project well done will give room for multiple projects, and that is how a big state develops its project, the nation develops its project.
Right.
The classic example is the initial golden quadrilateral road
Absolutely.
propounded by the first government of Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee,
Yes. He was a
etc.
visionary. At
Of
that
course,
point,
he
he had,
was. He was a
yes,
visionary.
he was bringing India together for transportation, for convenience, for travel, for movement.
Connecting all the big four metros around these things,
Yes.
Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai,
Yes.
and back to Delhi. Today, that has been improved, and across the country, so many projects have come. There are many six-lane projects, there are many expressway projects, projects built on different models.
So today, I think India has is in a golden era, like we know, and such infrastructure is attracting a lot of businesses from the outside world to come and set up in our country.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely right, you are.
So you spoke of these big projects being given to private companies or also run by government. And you have experience in concessions, I would say. If you can throw some light for a commoner about this.
Concession means it is a particular facility given to an entity, a private entity or a government, and that is given by way of an agreement by the government. So it is statutory.
Right.
That means it is sure shot. It is secure.
Correct.
That means that you do a project, and I promise you that if you complete the project properly, you will be able to get these kind of revenue streams,
Beneficiaries. Yeah.
these kind of benefits. This is called a concession. It can be for a period of maybe 25 years, 30 years, even longer term concessions. For example, airports and all, we have 35 years. Ports may even have 50 years, longer time, because the private investor will have to recover his cost of capital, and that happens over a period of time. It is not that a project is built and he is able to get back his returns within a short period of 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely. The size of the projects are
The
so
size of the
large,
project,
and time is a very important factor, I would say, especially because we're looking at 2 decades, 3 decades for a particular project. If you can just throw some structure or a framework on the more instinctive understanding of the project. For example, how much would you invest in a particular project, such as a road from Bangalore to Mysore?
Depends on the cost of the project. Let's say I cost Bangalore to Mysore with all the overflies, the flyovers,
Right.
bypassing all the towns in between.
Yes.
For example, you have from Bangalore immediately you have Kengeri, then you have Ramnagara, then you have Chennapatna.
Yes.
Then after
Mandya.
Chennapatna, Maddur, then Mandya, then
There are a
Srirangapatna,
lot of towns which is
Srirangapatna, and
surpassing.
then
Yes.
Mysore. If you
Absolutely.
really have, depending upon whether it is a 6 lane or a 4 lane. Now the current road is 3 plus 3, 6 lane. Okay, 6 lane and with a flyover 120 kilometers plus from Kengeri to
Mysore.
Mysore.
Yes.
So it will be close to, let's say, 3,000 crores.
Right.
Let's say I'm just giving an example. The current road was built by the central government. Okay, the state government did not build this. The central government built it. But let's say if we have to do a road of 3,000 crores, generally what happens is 20 to 25% will have to be brought in as equity. Balance 80%. So roughly you say 2,500 crores can be brought in as debt.
Debt lenders.
Banks will be willing to fund the project if the project is found bankable. You remember earlier I said what is bankability means that the project receivables, when you toll the road,
The revenues that you're
depending
going to
upon the
generate. Yes.
traffic and the toll revenue that you are going to get, if that toll revenue is sufficient for the cost of maintaining that road, operating and maintaining the road, as well as paying for the debt service, which means
The
interest
interest rates. Yes.
and debt repayment charges, then it is considered bankable,
Bankable.
plus
Yes.
providing a nominal rate of return to the investors, to the capital, to the equity capital owners.
Yes.
So when that happens, if you have that, then it is bankable. You can really structure this project in a nice manner.
If you say private sector, then you said state government, and then you said central. So, how do they make a choice? The proposal, the tenders go out to them, I'm sure. But how do they prioritize which one to pick up? Research be set, but otherwise, do you think there are other ways that you make the decision, not purely research based?
See, the issue is governments run on budgets.
Correct.
Governments run on their revenue from people. Whatever is the taxes that they collect,
Yes.
governments run. The state governments have a lower base of tax revenues and other revenues. And they have also many different welfare programs.
Yes.
They have also they have salaries, they have government employees,
Yes.
they have. So sometimes it is difficult for state governments to fund large projects. Central governments are larger, the revenue of central governments is larger in scope, and they also create authorities in India. They have created authorities, specialized authorities, which have been doing this work for a number of years, and they're also by statute or law. For example, for many years, Government of India collected cess on petrol, which was for the road development.
Right.
So this fund went into the
Yes. It was funding for the
authorities.
construction of the
Construct.
roads. Yes.
So for the private sector, it is the capital as well as the responsibility if capital is taken on debt to return it. So the responsibility, the private sector simply operates on a profitability
Profit.
model.
Yes.
You are aware of it.
Yes.
Whether if I invest an amount, X amount
X
of
amount.
rupees, what is the return I am getting?
And in what
given
time?
the assumptions in what time.
Yes.
This is how it is.
Yes.
So, depending upon the availability, even if it is sometimes the central government also may have a lot of other programs, at the same time, you cannot have any particular wait, in today's context, you cannot have any particular sector wait for the progress to
It has
happen.
to grow
It has
together
to grow
because they're
together.
dependent on one
Yeah. In a
another.
growing economy, simultaneously you have to
Multiple
do
projects
multiple
coming.
projects,
Yes,
multiple
yes.
things. And so, therefore, the private sector comes into play, and the private sector really is very calculative, and indeed it must be so, because if it has to invest, it has to take responsibility and return to the investor as well as to the bankers, so that the ecosystem goes on.
I would like to move to the airports in the similar fashion because we have a lot of private players who are in the airport segment. And you have personally worked with such company, GMR, if I can take the name.
Yeah.
And you can tell us a little bit about your experience as to what were the tenders they were looking at. What was it that made GMR take a decision to build the airport in this city?
See, any company in an infrastructure sector,
Right.
India has been growing.
Yes.
You could imagine the kind of airports we were used to when we started our career. I
Yes.
still imagine some of the airports, they were
Yes.
very small. It was not really growing compared to some of the international airports. And look at the HAL airport which we had.
We have used it,
We have
yes.
used
All of
it.
us have
All
been
of
there.
us have used
Yeah.
it. So the transition, how all this happened, because the per capita income of the country increased.
Correct.
The country's economy increased. The IT sector bloom happened.
Right.
There were many foreign visitors to the country. Simply, our airports were not adequate to meet the demands.
Correct.
We also had to really urgently get into improving the airports. The only authority which had at that time was Airports Authority of India.
Right, sir.
The ability to really source financing and develop large airports, because airports give yield positive returns after a long time. It is not a very immediate
It's a long term
return.
investment.
Yeah,
Yes.
long term investment. The privatization of airports in India did this magic. Apart from that, also, initially there was a lot of problems, lot of doubts and skepticism on whether the number of travelers would increase. Then came the low cost airlines, you would remember.
Yes.
And then we opened the sector to the private players. The initial private sector thing was taken by GMR and GVK.
I
Okay.
think this story that you're going to tell us is going to keep our viewers very interested.
Yeah.
He was part of the think tank in building of the Hyderabad airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, getting the initial, approvals, the state support, working on the financial models, questioning the traffic, understanding the traffic, doing the traffic study, etc. These were some of the assignments that came along with that. There were a number of other extraordinarily well equipped professionals in the team, people with 20 plus years of experience as airport directors, and we also had the benefit of world class consultants who had managed the airports, who had in the airport strategy.
So, before this, when you said you were part of the think tank, you mentioned the professionals who were involved in bringing this to a project level on paper and then proposing it to the government. So, was it GMR who initiated the idea, saying we can be a player in the private sector as a
There was the
private
policy.
company
There
in
was
the
the
public?
policy privatization of airports,
Yes.
and this was identified as a important, diversification
Yes.
measure, because after all, it is in the infrastructure area itself. GMR initially started with power projects.
Right. So they already
Had
had
power
done
projects, then with
projects for in the
road
infrastructure
projects.
sectors. Yeah.
Then, the logical extension is in the transportation sector.
Correct.
Airport became a very important,
In the logistics
component
world.
in
Yeah.
the logistics sectors, and
Yes.
airport also had really grown.
Yes.
The kind of growth that had happened in the sector was mind-boggling, and it was at the right time that GMR really went into the airports. And it is also the long, the capital investment and the revenue that you are likely to get over a long period, and how to increase the revenue. In airports, there are airside revenues
Right.
and terminal revenues, which is
Ground.
non-aero revenues.
Okay. So what happens
Okay.
on the ground in
On
the
the
airport?
ground,
Yes.
shopping,
Absolutely.
your
More
hotels,
consumption, I think.
convention
Yeah.
centers,
Right.
aero city based,
Right.
etc. All kinds of things, parking, all that is
Yes. Is
non-aero.
also revenue to
Oh,
the.
it is. It is a major part. Most airports in the world become more profitable with a higher proportion of non-aero revenues. Air revenues are,
Tarmac and I
landing
think parking
charges,
charges,
parking charges,
landing. Yes.
etc. Are operating a aero bridge
Right.
and stuff like that. So that is different, and this is different. So the proportion of non-aero is very important, and I think
That's very interesting, sir. I always thought that was a supplementary income and their main income came from the aero side.
you could view it that way, but any
Around
airport
65-35, if we can say,
any,
aero and
any
non-aero.
airport which does more than 40% non-aero will
Oh.
certainly be very profitable.
So how much
The-
time did it take you from being on the board as think tank to putting the project on paper to propose to the government?
It didn't take much time, but it's sort of about initial lot of permissions and clearances. Probably it took about an year.
A year.
A
And
year
so if
for
I
the
have to stitch that to the next timeline, so what happens next and how much time that was required? So if we have 2-3 points till we go into start of construction.
So if you really look at it, the way your project can make money is in also timing and planning it properly. From the time you have the project, you will have 6 to 9 months to do financial closure.
Right.
For example, you have to tie up the funding for the project,
Correct.
both equity and debt.
What is the percentage here? We're looking at equity and debt.
Well,
The ratio.
it could be anywhere from, depends upon the leverage the particular company has.
Would it be like 25-75?
It could be from anywhere from 20 to 40% for
Equity, yeah.
and
The rest is
60
debt.
to 80% for debt.
Okay.
Okay, on a very conservative basis. There are methods to tweak this. You can have mezzanine structures, which means you have a particular structure where you have capital put in and then a structure down where the capital is much lower.
Yes.
For example, let's say you want 500 crores as equity. I control the holding company wherein I put only 100 crores.
Okay.
I control the company.
Right.
Coming down mezzanine, I take the debt and further equity into the mezzanine, next level of company.
Okay.
A special purpose vehicle
Yes.
where I put 400 crores
Okay.
as equity and
Part debt.
other amount 2000 plus crores as debt.
Debt. Yes.
So you have different types of structures which you can do
Right.
so that you hold the control,
Okay.
you are able to fund and you create value in multiple places.
Correct.
One is in the special purpose
Vehicles.
vehicles
SPVs. Yeah.
stage and one at a higher stage.
Okay. Now, when we speak of lenders, you said about 60% approximately.
60 to 80%.
60 to 80% comes from debt. Who are these lenders? If you can just tell us the institutions like banks and
These are all
whether the government
these are all
supports.
generally, you know, big financial institutions.
Yes.
Okay, development banks and banks. There will be consortium lending.
Okay.
It is not one or someone will be
Correct.
the lead banker.
Correct.
For example, initially in India, the main development financial institutions were ICICI, IDBI, and IFCI.
And
Yeah,
their main vertical is to fund
yeah,
infrastructural
earlier.
projects.
Then they all become, ICICI became bank, IDBI also became bank.
Yeah. So if you have to put a number to the rate of interest for such a project for from the banking sector, just to
Can you just imagine
throw us some light as a
when we
commoner.
started when we started during 1996-7, the lending rates were somewhere between 18 and 21%.
Oh my God. Okay.
Then we refinance, okay,
This is
because
per
it
annum.
per annum, because it is not sustainable.
Yes.
Okay, at that time the capital in India was very scarce, and you had to ration
Expensive.
this capital and expensive.
Yes.
And over a period of time, as the economy has grown and stabilized,
So at
and then
such
there's
high rates of interest, private sector still made money if they parted in such
obviously
projects.
people were paying more.
Uh,
It is a cost plus model, madam.
yes.
Okay, but yes, where that is what where the market response to the project is not proper, projects would fail. Many projects failed because of that as well.
Yeah,
So it
it's
is
such
many
high costs
projects,
of
failed because of that.
funding. So
Yeah.
today, if you have to compare, what kind of percentage are we looking at?
We look at today somewhere between, for a very good company, A-rated companies, we could actually have something like 7 to 9%.
That's such a big delta
Such a
from then
big
and now.
difference, such a
Yes.
big difference,
Yes.
9%. And 8 or 9% is very easy. And if the project is bankable,
Yes.
and if the company has history of completing projects
Yes.
well on time and has earned and has paid back the bankers. See, the most important thing for any company
They
is
shouldn't default. They should complete
exactly,
a project.
is not
Yes.
to delay or default on payments and pay on the due date of the installments due.
So
That
there
is a
should be a discipline.
fundamental. Yeah, that is
Yes.
fundamental.
Yes. Financial discipline to
You have
pay
to
back.
have that discipline inculcated.
So like I was talking about the timeline of the airport. So now we have got the funding, and from this stage, or we've rather figured out where the funds are going to flow in from. From this stage to actual start of project, how long would you take?
That would
And
not take much. That would, from the funding stage, we could plus, whatever is the final, conditions precedent according to the concession agreement. All that can be made in a matter of another. Simultaneously, it will be worked upon. So you'll really need not much time, maybe less than 3 months. And
okay.
then there is the construction phase. For a very large project, it will take 3 to 3.5 years.
So like an airport.
Airport, it will take 3 to 3.5 years.
And I'm sure it's in
Supposing
phases. Yeah.
you are building a facility for 50 million passengers
Yes.
or 100 million passengers,
Wow.
it will take that much time. And once you do that, the last 6 months are on testing, various levels of testing, subsystem testing. There is the system of checking in. Today, everything is electronic.
Yes.
Okay, all the digital world has taken over all the ground processes,
Yes.
including your luggage, your baggage is checked digitally. So it will take about 3.5 years.
Right.
And once that is done, the airport is on.
So 3.5 years for such a massive project for a common citizen, I think is it's fantastic. To build a home takes 3 to 4 years today. So you're building a kind of a place for 100 million people who are free flowing in the same time frame.
Any large project,
Yes.
reasonable to assume that you could complete it in 3 years.
And I think if there is a delay, it also comes with the cost of funding. So
Of
they
course.
better be on time. And the
In
project could
fact,
collapse
madam,
also because of the delays.
Madam, what is very, very important in projects is not to really disrupt the cash flow while the project is under construction. If you plan the cash flow and give to the construction company or the EPC contractor monies regularly based on the quantum of work completed as per the curves, S curves, the curves of completion of project, there is no way project can be delayed. There are also times when the construction contractor also slips up, but it is easy to put them back on trial. Even if you have to really pay a little ahead.
Extra. Yeah.
We have done that in my experience, we have done that many times because that is where you will be able to complete the project.
It kind of lubricates
Yeah.
for the construction company to come, and if they've got an advance, maybe it helps in that way
Yes,
as well to
completing the
complete it.
project
Yes,
before time or on time is the most important
mandatory.
mandatory.
Yes.
Within the two things mandatory, we complete the project within the budgeted cost and within the time frame.
Correct.
Generally, if you complete it within the time, the budget also is taken care of.
Yes.
And it will qualify you for you to get revenue earlier, also get some bonuses. So there is a lot to gain by doing the project early.
But there are, in my mind, I'm thinking, so many circumstances which are unforeseen. For example, on roads, highways, if we are constructing. And, there are problems coming from, say, do not cut trees on this particular road. That comes about. Or if there is a temple or a religious institution on that particular road. How do you deal with such circumstances?
You're right, madam. See, for example, the shifting of utilities, the cutting of trees, or removing any obstacles have to be done even before the start of construction. You have to have a program to remove all those bottlenecks before the construction takes place itself. We have done that in many of the projects. To the point that there could be very sudden, unforeseen disturbances like what you have said.
Yes.
We have also encountered that. And, there are many ways to deal with it. So maybe you incur additional cost, additional thing. But at the end of the day, it is all negotiations. And then, the success of a project also depends on how well you control these factors, how well you manage, and how well you carry on with that. For example, I still remember that in one of the projects that we have done, we had to shift a police station. Can you just imagine? That is even worse. Okay, police station shifting.
Right.
Okay, it's a tough thing. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not saying that there is any wrong or
Because
problem
even they have thought
associated.
about it and put it there. So it's a
It
requirement.
so happened that that project required the shifting of a police station which was located in
Very
a
interesting.
vantage point.
Oh,
So
okay.
we had to provide, they had to find a alternative site and have a temporary setup and then move it. Took some time. So these are all very normal and these are
So you
extremely
factor
normal.
in such delays in the beginning of the project.
You have to budget all these things and redraw your project's completion schedule so that despite these things you are in a better position to complete the project overall.
You've seen projects succeed and fail. What early signal tells you a project is going to struggle?
Oh, this is very interesting. Actually, you can find out from the first 6 months itself.
So is it assumptions?
Not assumptions. For example, assumptions are all okay. You will be ready with the plan, you will be ready with the money, and you will be ready with everything. But within the first 6 months, the project mobilization by the contractor has not happened. If he has not really started work or the work is going slow, then you have a problem.
Could it also be the promoter behavior?
Promoter behavior is really not the issue here at all.
Okay.
Most projects fail at 2 3 stages. One is at the planning stage itself, if you have wrongly planned and if you have not arranged the funds properly. If the first drawdown, as what you call,
Correct.
the initial funds is not happening, then there is a bigger chance to fail. But these things all won't happen because you would have ironed out all these things initially.
Right.
So the risk is the construction risk. In any project, the biggest risk is the construction risk.
Because it's physical, it has
It's
to be done.
physical, it has to be done, and there are problems that can happen that, it is not adequately done. And if you have not monitored also. For example, in one of the projects, what was important was getting a crane by a contractor.
Okay.
You are not actually involved with getting that crane.
So this was a roads project?
Road project.
Yeah.
You are not involved with getting the crane.
It was a contractor's headache.
It's a contractor's job.
Yes.
But if he doesn't get that crane,
Yeah.
your schedule will be disrupted. So what we do then, if you have to complete the project, then you depute your
Internal people.
people along with the contractor's representative to the place of manufacture of that crane and expedite the process of shifting and getting that crane.
Okay.
I mean, you can simply say that, that is not my job. But then ultimately your job is going to get
Affected,
delayed,
yes.
affected. Given planning itself, you need to visualize what kind of critical issues may crop up during the execution and how you are going to address that. That will really be the hallmark of a good project.
First time promoters, what mistake do they make always?
Rookie mistake, first time promoters generally, they believe that everything should be done by themselves.
Okay. Take help of the expertise who are very much available today. Yes.
They need to trust the experts.
Correct.
They need to trust the people who are, sufficiently trained and knowledgeable on the subject.
Yes.
Oftentimes, there is always a conflict between the ownership and the management. First time promoters should behave as owners, not as
Managers.
And incidentally, many companies where there is a clear demarcation between the ownership and the management, they have done very well.
So now that artificial intelligence has come in as well, so that in this particular sector, I'm sure they've already started implementing
Lot of
it.
automation, lot of standard procedures, lot of project progress, lot of project procedures sets have all been computerized.
Yes.
And from the place where you may be in, a remote location, 2,000 kilometers away, still you can see what is happening on the ground and what is planned for today, how it is done, what is the continuous progress, where it has, progress, where it has delayed, what are the bottlenecks, all of it you can see. And with AI,
There's less human error, I think.
yeah, you can even perfect this system. You can put in a lot of, obviously all these are standard procedures
Yes.
in some sect or the other. Now you are fine tuning it to the environment that you are in. With the current input that can be given in an AI based software, you can really fine tune it. There is no problem. And, things could be better, much better.
Okay. So you operate across engineering risk, financial risk, and then community risk, regulatory risk, time risk. How did you train yourself to see multiple risk layers simultaneously?
Yeah, you need to. If you have to do a project from start to completion within the time, you have to understand the various risk factors, the risk mechanism, and the risk mitigation. For example, a regulatory risk. Suddenly, government may come out with a law that when you assumed it was different, but now it is different,
It's changed.
changed. For example, one thing, on a service charge or something like that, they may put a GST. It could be 18%.
And that would be
Or
a huge
huge,
amount effect on your
yeah,
funding
yeah,
and commercial and financial results.
exactly. Or they can say that, okay, we have given this concession is going to be withdrawn.
So can I add
Process.
another
Please.
layer with a question saying if the government changes, so the ruling party, and then in the middle of your project you have the opposition who's come in. So how did that affect or delay your project?
Oh, that is how sometimes the incidentally there are a number of projects
Yeah.
in the states or in the center which have stopped after a different party comes
Party.
to cover. This is the bane of our society, that we do not rely on a government which has earlier been in existence, and we think that whatever the earlier government has done has not been done properly.
Yes.
I think that attitude should change over a period of time.
And if I can be candid, sometimes a new party which comes in and they have opened the project, but the previous party who was in power has initiated the project. So there, I mean, is it a little bit of a controversy there?
It is not. It's a question of trying
did
to take
what?
who is going to take credit.
Yes.
But actually, this do not matter. For example, if somebody
Right.
else has started,
Yes.
and if the new government comes and completes it on time,
It's fortunate.
it's very good, and
Yes.
both of them deserve the credit.
Absolutely.
So that is what it is.
When did you first realize that I am responsible for something that affects thousands of people? I'm speaking about your role. Did you have? Do you have such a point?
Right from day one, I
Yes.
have realized that.
Oh wow!
Okay.
How? What is the feeling? What is the underneath feeling
Yeah, you
that
do
you have?
whatever you do, give the best of your abilities, and give and really think through the situation, think through what can be done at various points, various ways, and then try to find out the best possible solution for that project. And if you do that for that project, you would be doing to the company, you would be doing to the environment, you would be doing to the people and to the nation. It automatically follows.
Yes.
So my simple principle was that whatever you are trying to do, whatever work you are trying to do it in the best possible way.
So, with such great responsibility, I hope the other people on the board also are thinking alike. And
Oh yes, there are a lot of, you also learn from your peers, your colleagues, sometimes from your, not only from your higher
Seniors
ups,
and
but
juniors as well.
sometimes from your juniors as well.
Yes, yes.
So it is this collective learning which is really important, and you should be open to it.
And also from the youngsters, they have new thoughts, they have new procedure-driven, understanding. So those also can be put out on the table, so they express themselves
Of
and
course,
can be debated,
really,
whichever works well according
some
to
of
the
them
project.
really come out with very excellent suggestions, very excellent
It's always a
procedures.
learning
you
for
cannot,
life.
you cannot dismiss someone because he is
Yes, he's
not,
less
he is
experienced
new,
or
less
new.
experienced.
Yes. So now we have spoken about debt, equity, and capital choreography. Let's come to some of the pressure and character questions now. So we will call it the rapid fire round.
Please.
We will have it quick. So you can give me a short answer, best one-line answers, or even a word is
Sure,
good.
sure.
Right? So you fought an arbitration battle that restored over 1,000 crores. Beyond the money, what was at stake?
Oh, the entire project, the life of so many people,
Oh my God.
and then the the progress of the promoters. That was the the second project, and if it had not been done, it would have been a disaster to the group.
Right. So, what is that one thing that changed in you after such an experience?
Well, what changed me was that I was extremely happy I was part of the company which did it, and I spearheaded it.
Oh, okay.
The effort was that I spearheaded that,
Right.
and it gave me great confidence later on.
Moving on to our next question, let's talk about crisis. If there was a bomb scare at a project site, what would you do?
We immediately go there, alert the police, alert, give the information that people should keep off, shut down the plant and machinery, then identify where it is, clear the risk, and then do and operate like a systematic, precision-oriented person.
That's very
Okay, that is
well
how it
done.
is. No emotions, nothing. This is how it will be done systematically, and that is what
Have
we
you come
did.
across such a thing?
Oh yeah, there were in one of the plants, and we left Bangalore to Chennai at short notice, and I was part of the team which did all these things.
Wow. Was it scary? Of course.
Of course, scary.
Of course, it's scary. But being there present and your responsibility, so you were
So
there
it is,
as
yeah. So big
a
projects
lot of
are,
courage that it
yeah,
takes.
big projects are not for the light-hearted.
What does leadership look like at that moment? Because you have to motivate yourself and also take the entire bandwagon along with you.
Leadership always is take a cause, steadfastly follow it, be the leader to do it, and take as many people to follow with you.
If I say your hardest earned skill is making decisions under uncertainty with other people's money, is that accurate?
That's pretty much summed up. Yes, the decision is what I have been known for is very quick decision making.
And how do you build that?
Yeah, calculated decision making
Right.
with lot of information and always in favor of the objective or for the promoter's cause. That is how my mind has always worked.
So, is there any red flag in a project that is the biggest? If you have to say one biggest red flag in the project of building an airport.
The biggest red flag I would always see is construction related.
Okay.
All other things can be managed
Right.
one way or the other.
Yes.
But if you have, for example, if you have not done your runway, critical things
Yeah. The
properly,
tarmac, yes.
you are in trouble. If you have not done your check-in system or the luggage handling system, the ground force systems, you are in trouble. Planning is important, but it is always the execution which is extremely important.
Yes.
Because what happens that you lose time, you lose money, and you have to again spend and you have to correct the situation. It is oftentimes much more difficult to correct a situation than build afresh.
What is harder to manage? Is it politics or is it lender?
Sometimes you get caught in unnecessary politics, as they say. You have to be very careful in dealing with politics of any sort. Okay, because business is not political.
Right.
Business is apolitical.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Lenders easily managed if you are. What do they want? They want their debt to be serviced.
Financial discipline is
Financial
there, then you're
discipline, and if you pay them back their interest and their repayment of the principal, they are happy. And that is their business. That is what you have to do. You have taken money from them.
Okay. Of course. Yes.
So you owe it to them to pay.
So, debt or equity, which demands more discipline?
I would say capital demands a lot of discipline. You have to be, all capital must be given back with returns.
Right.
There is one form of capital which is debt, which is based on a lot of conditions, which is, priced at a certain specific level. A lot of time for it. Equity, investors are patient. but their expectation is more than that of a debtor, that is a lender. So equity really can't wait patiently, but a good company will return to the equity shareholders much more than what
Which
they
is promised.
expect. What is
Yes.
promised or what
Yes.
they expect. That is what it is. So both are important. Both have to be, kept properly.
Carefully done. Yes.
And it is a good project with good revenue and good financial discipline will definitely yield so much of revenue where servicing of both debt and equity can be done without any problem.
So, one quality every long term builder must have.
The long term builder, whatever it is in all the real estate, for example, if you take a project and if you organize funding for it, you must complete that project. You do that project completely, hand over to your clients,
Yes.
go for the next. But if you can manage a few or many and have a financial discipline in appropriately portioning your funds to these projects and able to complete, it is very good. The most important aspect is fulfilling your commitment to the customer.
Correct.
Once you do that, then you are all right. If you are not able to do that, then there is a problem.
A lot of people have entered real estate and they have entered through smaller projects and they have grown over time. So, if I have to speak of, say, we have bought a land, we have constructed a building, and then we have given this to a managed hospitality, keys. So, they will do the entire thing, but I have my role is to construct the building on this site. Now, this has become a successful project for me. How do I take this to 10 projects? How do I make this 50 projects? That's scalability, and I would call this segment a multiplier effect.
Very interesting. So you are building the infrastructure facility for managed care, hospitality care. See, the start of one is the most important thing. For example, in any business, if you do one project or one business well, you can replicate it. This is called replication. The way you replicate, you can add a lot of value. For example, let me just say that probably you may have done a 50 room hospitality. Now, okay, you have started it with a particular brand. I am assuming
Yes,
that you
sir.
have started with a particular brand.
That's correct.
And then you are getting a kind of regular fixed income based on the number of keys. So this single hotel is the benchmark for you in terms of your performance, in terms of how you have funded this venture, in terms of how you have positioned, in terms of how you are going to take your revenue, in terms of your cost, etc. This is the benchmark. Now, this is kindly consider this as a single project, and in financial times I would call it as a special purpose vehicle.
An SPV.
One
Yes.
special purpose vehicle. Now you can create n number of such projects and have a special purpose vehicle for each of these projects. For this special purpose vehicle for the first project, you might have taken some loan, you might have taken some equity,
Yes.
maybe you have put in some money,
Yes.
your kith and kin or your friends must have put some more money. All of that go into the equity basket.
Yes.
Then you would have taken some bank loan or the non-banking financial company's loan. That is into the debt. Now this is one project. Now you have n number of projects. Let's say that in the next year you are going to do 4 more projects.
Yes.
So by the end of 2026, 27 March, the next financial year, you are going to do 4 more projects.
Yes.
So the one way of doing it, have these projects conceptualized,
Yes.
understand how much of financial involvement is there, the capital is required. First determine what are the keys, where you are going to it. Now you are maybe doing it in one part of the city. In which of the pockets of the city you think that these will be used? In
Yes.
the IT corridors or in the main city
Identifying
corridors.
locations.
Or
Yes,
in,
that
you kind of do this, plan it, then you work out the number of keys that you have, you determine the total cost of capital that will be required, including land cost, the construction cost, then the fit out cost, then all the infrastructure that goes into it. What you do is you put all this into a few SPVs.
okay.
Two hotels can be into an SPV or one hotel,
Yes.
depending upon. Then these SPVs come under your sector holding company, say 3 or 4 or 5,
Yes.
whatever is that.
Okay.
You can get equity and debt into that holding company as well.
Understood. Yes.
And if you want one more layer above also, you can have your own family companies or family persons as a holding company, which is be your family holding company. So that can have some capital, and then this sector holding company can have capital with both equity and debt, as well as you can have in the SPVs equity and debt. What happens to this is all of the results of these 4-5 properties you can consolidate and put it into your sector holding company, and that gives you a big value.
Correct.
For example, if I am going to tell you, like, let's say in the first instance with 25 these things you are making a profit of 10 crores. With 250 you will make a profit of 100 crores, let's say. All these 100 crores will sit in that holding company.
Sector holding company.
And these 100 crores over a period of years, say 10 years, 15 years, it's going to give so much. So when you use the technique called discounted cash flow
Yes.
or free cash flows, paying
LRDs also. Is
eh,
it?
DZFs, these
Yeah.
are
Okay.
free cash flows. When
Right.
you calculate whatever is your net surplus after paying for all the costs
Yes.
from your revenue,
Yes.
and also the tax, if you have a free cash flow over a 10-year, 15-year period. It's good to evaluate a 15-year period.
Yes. That
And
would also
then-
cover the cost of capital and the principal paid back, and then you
Everything.
have free flow of revenue coming
Yes,
in.
and this surplus, you discount it at a certain factor,
Okay.
which is your expected rate of return.
Right.
Okay, say let's say you expect 12% return or 14%. You discount it and you have a number,
Okay.
that will be your valuation.
Okay.
Let's say if you have out of 100 crores, you get say a valuation of 1500 crores.
Okay.
You can invite this 100% of ownership of this old company is valued at 1500 crores. So
That is because of the time of 15 years and capital appreciation.
yeah, in
I believe
future,
it.
so this is,
It's a projection.
yeah, it is the way that you are structuring this operation. In future at steady state, this will be a minimum valuation of 1500 crores.
Okay.
Okay. So therefore, when you have 1500 crores, you are valued, 100% of your holdco is valued at, let's say, 1500 crores. You have the option of either taking 1:2 times 3000 crores of debt. So imagine with 3000 crores of debt, how many more projects you can
you
put.
start? Yes.
Or with this 1500 crores, you say, I hold 60%. I want 40% to be given to somebody else. Then when you give 40% to him, he is bringing 600 crores. You have 1,500 valuation.
Right.
He is also bringing 600.
Yes.
Now 2,100 is your equity. You can go for 4,200 plus his investment of 6,600,
600.
4,800. Suddenly you have 5,000 crores.
So the multiplier effect
This is the multiplier
right.
effect.
It's coming into
So
play.
this is the multiplier effect. When you do this, your ability to grow your business into many times by taking more number of projects, more number of opportunities. You can buy some projects. You can immediately look for revenues. So it's always a trade-off between how much percentage you own and what value you want to derive from it. So it grows like that. That is how is the multiplier effect.
That was a fantastic masterclass on how to have the multiplier effect and the complexity of financial structures.
Classic thing is do your first project well. Try to do it well. Once you do it well, once there is a robust revenue model, once there is a possibility to scale it up, once there is a possibility to really improve the business immediately, then people are willing to invest.
Yes.
And people are willing to partake in the success of that particular business.
Yes.
Because not often people will have the enterprise to start businesses, but running businesses
Yes,
is
they
an
can-
easy opportunity for a good running business with good profits.
To
is
attract
an
funding.
easy opportunity for the investor.
So experience builds pattern recognition. It teaches you where assumptions break, where risk hides, where patience matters, where ego must be controlled. To everyone listening today, the next time you drive on a highway or land at an airport or switch on a light, remember, behind that infrastructure is accumulated experience. This has been Stories of Scale. I'm Shruthi signing off as the host for Stories of Scale. Thanks to Chakrapani sir for coming in and giving your valuable time. You have educated our viewers and I have had a lot of learning today from you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, Shruti, for
Thank
this
you, sir.
opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you.